Hi, Meg. Hi, Carolyn. How are you guys today? Meg's little boy went to preschool today. Are you feeling happy, sad? Hi, George. Carolyn says she's doing great because it's Flower Day. Oh, so exciting. I do like Flower Day. Right. Meg says, happy. 3 hours to myself again. It sounds amazing. For the first day, are you just going to do nothing? Or read a book? Hi, Helen. Get some proper alone time. Right, I'm going to get started. We're going to do this little guy. Very easy, very sweet, very simple. I'm going to use this kind of light pink but bright color for the outside, and then we'll do a really light yellow for the middle. So this is another one of those where, like the leaves, you kind of have to pay a bit more attention where you put your stitches. So yeah, it's not difficult. Oh, Meg says, have 2 house valuations today, so I'm making sure everywhere is tidy. Oh, bless you. I bet it's exciting, but also, stressful, because you have to, make sure everything's clean and, put away, I'm trying to do that to my house right now. Every second, in the morning or in the evening, just try to tidy it more, So I'm always a stickler for the lines, especially with big shapes like this, because it's really easy to make them go kind of sideways. And then you have kind of all the petals that are straight and then 1 or 2 that are kind of wonky, because we're not doing each petal separate. We're going around in a circle in a continuous satin stitch. So that's why I like to do the lines, and don't think that you're not a master stitcher if you have to do the lines or whatever. I'll show you what I do, and then you can decide how you feel. Yeah? So I like to do 1 in the middle of each one. They don't have to be perfect. And 1 in the short bits. Ooh, drawing upside down. Okay, and then I like to go back and do 1 right between those. And you can tell that the outside area here is bigger than what we have here. So what we're going to be doing is tucking some stitches in. So some stitches will go all the way from the very tip of the petal all the way to the middle, and some will only go kind of 3/4 of the way, because we want to keep this area nice and smooth and not kind of congested with a bunch of stitches. Right, so that's how normally I will start it. It's not right in the middle, but hey ho. And it looks a bit strange, so don't worry about that. Let me zoom in, and then I'm going to start stitching. So because we have to do the middle part, meaning that we're going to fill it in, I like to keep my knots on the outside. So just with any satin stitch, come up from the top. I've made mine, my thread a bit longer, just because I know I'm going to be using quite a bit. So there's a couple ways to do this. Some people will go through and do a couple of these lines. So meaning they'll stitch this one, then this one, then this one, then this one, this one, this one, and then they'll go back again and fill it in. I'm not really a fan of that way. You can, of course. Sometimes I'll do kind of stitch this line and then kind of fill in the middle, but I think it has a bit more of a flow and kind of goes a little bit better, looks neater if you just do it stitch by stitch, one by one. So some stitches you're going to go all the way down, like the first one, and some stitches you're going to go kind of 3/4 or 4/5 even of the way down. So you kind of want to get it so that you have more stitches at the top, but less stitches that go down straight down here. So this one, we're just going to not go down as far. So you can see it's not that big of a difference. But the next one, when we go all the way down, it'll kind of hide that. And that one's going to go right next to the first stitch that we just did. So now we have 3 stitches. They all go down, and they kind of look like they're, well, they will look like they're going to be blended. So the next one, you guys, I know I keep banging on about this needle, but it's like my needle was my 6th finger, and now I cannot find one that I like. We've got a huge hoop to do, and last night I was doing the lettering for it, and I was just telling David, I can't. It doesn't feel right. It feels so wrong. Isn't that terrible? This one's not as bad. Hello. Okay, so we've done half of one petal, yeah? You can either continue going here to here, or like me, because I'm weird, I'm going to do one in the middle and then go back and fill that in. And I think it just helps to make the middle nice and straight and like kind of symmetrical from each side. So again, just like before, it's kind of every other one, but that's not like the formula. So some stitches you have to do it a certain way because that's the way the stitch works, if that makes sense. But oh, my sister says, I think she's in needle heaven. Oh, she's gone away, she has. So I don't know if you heard the story of the needle, but I was stitching on the float boat for my brother's wedding, and it fell off the float boat, and I think it went into the water. And I've had it for like 4 years. I know I keep going on about it, but I can't find one that I like. It's like I've got some orders to do, and I keep doing them, and it's just like not nice to stitch with them. So we'll do one more, and there's that side done. And then I'll go straight back over here and continue on this side. So you want it to have like a nice, smooth, continual feel to it. Pay attention to not just the inside, because see how the inside has a nice circle so far? Pay attention to the outside as well. So you want all of your stitches to go all the way to the line that we made, and then all the way down to the bottom for the ones that go all the way to the bottom. And the reason that we're tucking some stitches, or kind of not going all the way down with all of our stitches, again, is because there's more space on the top on the outside than there is on the inside. So you have to, or they won't all fit. This one really isn't bad. I might use this one now. Try my best. So this kind of goes back to, if you've used my patterns before, there's a bit in each pattern about how to trace your pattern onto the fabric. And it says, if you draw it wonky, you're probably going to stitch it wonky. And I 100% agree with that. It's much easier to stitch something that's already drawn on there perfectly than to kind of make it up as you go. This is what we have so far. I guess that's a lie. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you'll be much better to execute your stitching if you have a nice drawing to start with. So who is tired of satin stitch so far? Because if you're doing the leaves, we've done satin stitch a couple times now. And on this one, and on the first one. So if you're doing both patterns, that's quite a lot of satin stitch. Yeah, some people hate it, some people really like it. It just depends. But practice. Helen says, I've definitely drawn this wonky. It's all right. Are you stitching right now, or are you just having a look at it? Can I get one more in? I think I can. Right in the middle. Carolyn says that she needs to practice, which is good. Like sometimes when I'm doing my own embroideries, like for orders and everything, I think, oh, I cannot be asked to do this. Like, I just don't want to do this one right now, like this one stitch. Sometimes it's French knots, sometimes it's whatever. Satin stitch. Sometimes it's the lazy daisy ones because you have to put your hoop down and then pick it up again. Helen is stitching. Blue Peonia says, I'm late with my stitching. I'm 3 leaves and 2 flowers late. Oh dear. That's all right. That's why they're all up on YouTube. I think except yesterday's. I was having some internet problems yesterday. Not on the live video, but in the afternoon. Like none of the stories are loading or anything. So I like hardly had any, well, I didn't upload any because none of them were uploading. So I'll have to make sure that the YouTube went up properly. By My Sister is color choosing. Oh, it's my favorite part. I could spend like all day just picking colors. Blue Peonia is just watching at work again, but they'll try to catch up tonight. One more. Oh no. But my sister said it's my favorite too. I think it's so fun picking colors out. I could spend so long doing it. So I have like a couple orders that like I stitched before, but I've kind of ran out of the colors that I had set aside for it. So I have to like color match some new colors to it. Yesterday I did it and I was like, oh, this is so fun, picking all the colors and trying to see which ones match. And Helen says, I was in a crap place last week, so did very little, but caught up over the weekend. Oh, I'm sorry, babes. I hope that you're doing better now. Robin says, that's my mom. That's why I'm always texting you about colors, because I'm not good at it and I do not like to do it. Oh, but you've got to do it. You've got to do it by yourself. You have to learn. I can't do everything for you. Does it sound familiar? Seems like Robin said that to me a couple times. Haven't you, Mom? She said that's why I had you. Okay, so after you've done the whole outline like this, I always like to go back and just have a little look. And sometimes it's easy if you can just take your finger, like my finger, and kind of push up a little bit and just make sure there's no gaps, because sometimes when the fabric is really tight, there can be a gap, but you can't really see it because of the threads. You really do want them to be close. I think mine's all right. Okay, I'm gonna flip her over. So you can tell some of them, I did the traditional satin stitch going all the way down, front and back, and some of them I did the thread saver method, where you just go next to it and down. There's no right or wrong way. You do how you want to. And I did say earlier that I do like to keep all of the knots on the outside when I do a satin stitch that's all the way around, and I know I'm going to fill up the middle with something, because it's just one less knot that you have to worry about going through. So just be a little bit conscious of that. So we had all 6 strands for the satin stitch. This one's a big wide petal, isn't it? That's all right, all flowers are different. For the inside, you can choose what you'd like to do for the inside for this one, because we've done a bunch of stitches already. For the pattern, I have just a regular satin stitch again. And if you need to, you can make the lines across. Again, wonky lines, but it's just a guide. You can make them up and down if you'd rather. You can do French knots in the middle. Let's try that. It's really up to you how you feel like it. So if you are going to do the satin stitch again, you want to go right up to the same hole that you went down in the middle. So when you came down to do these ones, you want to go right up to that. Don't leave a space. So I would never go like this. See how there's a little bit of white between there still? You do not want that. You want it to go all the way in, but not all the way in like that. Do you see the difference? You don't want to try to go into the pink. You just want to go as far as possible as you can without any white showing. So you don't want even one white thread there. And that's how you'll make it look really nice and seamless, like it's all one flower, like they're really integrated together. And you also might have to pull a little bit harder. Take your time and pick the right place to put your needle. I might add one more at the top, we'll see. Almost done. Oh, that one went a bit sideways, didn't it? That one went up through. I'm doing all the things I told you not to do. You can't really tell though. Yeah, because it's a circle, you want the smaller stitches at the top and bottom, so that really does look like a circle. Otherwise, it's going to look like a big square. Robin says, thank you, my lovely. Excellent as always. Have a great day. That means that she needs to get ready for school. I'm going to do one more little one down here, even though I probably shouldn't. It turned out all right. So there we go. That's the very last flower in the first row. That means that we've done 10 days so far, from Sunday until now. So yours should look kind of like this. And if you're doing the leaves as well, I didn't finish mine from yesterday, so don't shout at me. But that's what you should have. 10 days. So tomorrow we'll do these leaves. That's Wednesday. And then, yeah, Wednesday. And then Thursday we'll do these ones. So there you are. I hope you have a great Tuesday. I have a ton of hoops to do. So that's exciting. A lot of them are samples for Christmas stuff. So if there's anything specific you want to see for Christmas, holla at your girl. That means let me know. All right. Have a great day, and I will talk with you tomorrow or Thursday.